Ow. Okay, what the hell was that? Uh, Not the ow, that was me. They gotta start off, they gotta start off with the. Okay, so I just got done watching. What I'm doing is I'm gonna watch this part, record this video, watch the next one, record that, and then upload the first video. Okay, so I watched Beyond the Resonator. This was a middle part. This was obviously intended to be the middle part. The least of the stuff is happening, but I felt like it just, I don't know. So, as mentioned at the end of the last one, Herbert West was introduced. So in this one, we focus somewhat on Herbert West while also focusing on the characters from the first part. But, like, okay, so obviously they couldn't get two of the actors back. Obviously they couldn't get the actors back. Two of the actors back, I should say, because they just say that Bear, who was the big muscly guy in the last one, just disappeared. And Brandon is now played by a different actor, and within the first minute and a half of screen time, blows his brains out. And even before that, he doesn't look anything like him. His hairstyle's different, everything. I was like, that's not the same guy. It's not. It's a different actor. But why didn't, if that's the case, if they couldn't get both the actors back, why didn't they just say they both disappeared? Well, because we need Brandon's mother to be a character in this, I guess. But the biggest problem with this part is that because they decided to introduce Herbert West, we now split time between Herbert West and Crawford Tillinghast. And the stuff with the Resonator continuation is nothing. There's some conversations, but we don't get any of the stuff from last time. It's mostly focused on the Reanimator stuff, which takes away from the story I wanted to see continue. I wanted to see more of what happened. And most confusingly, mostly because, like, right away I was confused because it's mostly probably because of the they had to, sum up why the cast are different. Which, this whole thing with Brandon blowing his head out, it does do a recap of some of the stuff that happened in the first one, but the first part. But I feel like this opening was like that because they had to explain what happened to the other actors. Like, they don't explain what happens to Bear until like 20 minutes in, but like the other guy, they explain, shoots himself. So but like, I don't understand. I thought it was going to pick up right where it left off with the confusion, but it, I don't know. And like, I don't think I even saw Amanda Wyss in this, even though she's credited on IMDb, which is really weird. I don't think I saw her once in this. Maybe this would be in the next one. I don't know. She seemed to be an important part of this, but I don't. Unless she was a quick walk by, I don't know. But, yeah, so the Herbert West story is that Herbert West, he's moved into Miskatonic U. It's mostly Reanimator. He moves into a house with a roommate who's not Dan Kane, but an African-American kid who is suspicious of him. He's not in on it right away. Well, Dan wasn't in on it right away either. But, much like, strangely enough, it kind of echoes that of Reanimator. He moves into a house with a roommate. Roommate's got a girlfriend. Girlfriend ends up dead by the end of this. And West is reanimating objects. He starts with he's like a little tarantula, and then it's horribly CGI'd to death when he injects it. And then he gets like cadaver pieces. He gets a head, which is a call to, Dr. Hill in the Reanimator. He injects it, the head explodes because he doesn't have the juice ready. None of it is green, so I'm assuming, once he gets the green part working. And then he gets, he's supposed to experiment on rats like he was doing in the movie. But the guy gives him a marsupial, and it's a koala. And this is such a bad-looking koala that I actually thought the guy was fucking with him. I thought the guy was playing a prank on him, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!" I'm like, "Oh, it's a prank. It's not a real." He screwed him over, but no, it's presented like he screwed him over to get the money. But no, it's presented as if this obviously stuffed animal is supposed to be a real koala, real dead koala. My God, the budget sucked for this. I mean, so he injects the koala. He thinks it doesn't work, so he goes up. It does work, and he chains it down. But then his roommate shows up, and his roommate tries to tell him, "Hey, you gotta leave." But then he stumbles onto this. So then they're working together now. At the end of this, he's got a gun, and something happens where he goes to shoot the cadaver that's now alive, the reanimated corpse. It dings off. Wes stops him, it dings off a pipe, hits the girlfriend. That's where this part of the story ends, in this part. And then we got the other stuff that doesn't really go anywhere. All of a sudden, the blonde chick is now clairvoyant, which I don't think was a thing in the last one. All of a sudden, she can sense things with her mind. She meets this new girl who I swear is connected to this naked chick that everyone keeps seeing, this naked monster chick that wants to get out. And then we have Crawford, who's telling the blonde chick and his girlfriend Mara, "Hey, we gotta meet at this warehouse." Apparently, what happened in the last one is that many portals were open and they got sucked into a morphed their reality. So it kind of took them back to the day before. And it morphed their reality, which is why Bear's not there, even though I think he was there at the end of the last one. I don't know. And Brandon Blue's brained out. I don't know. And they keep seeing the weird naked lady chick. And he tells him what happened. The blonde chick believes her. I forget her name, I'm sorry. Believes him because she can see it with her clairvoyancy she somehow has. Maybe that's this version of the character. Now she has the clairvoyancy. I don't know. But I feel like this chick that she's hooking up with is connected to this somehow because she sees her and then she sees the one chick and then she bump into this chick. I don't know. It's too on the nose. And so then Brandon's mom shows up and says, "You are going to get this thing working again because I want to see my son again because it gives your desires." Okay. And okay, so the guy who plays Herbert West is doing a really good job of he's channeling Jeffrey Combs, like the way he talks and everything. He's given the mannerisms of Jeffrey Combs. He's really putting in a great performance, as portraying Herbert West as Jeffrey Combs would. So I really like that. But there's one thing. A friend of mine would like to speak to you because, there's a character in this film who says something. Really? Okay. Hi, I'm Chibba Thurler, and so there's a character in this movie that pissed me off because they pronounced the almighty overlord, Cthulhu, as Chuthurler. The fuck is wrong with you? You don't know how to say the name right. It's Cthulhu. Get it right or don't say it at all. Thank you for that, Chibi Thulu. So yes, they said Cthulhu, and I almost blew a gasket. Like, really? You don't know how to pronounce the fucking thing? You're doing this series that is based around the Cthulhu mythology, and you can't even pronounce the goddamn name right? I'm just saying. So this whole thing ends with showing us Wallace, who's barely been in this, and then he's like, Tillinghast, and he's like, we need to talk, and then it's how it ends. I'm like, really? That's how we're ending this? This was very much a middle part of a trilogy of stuff, so I think we're gonna get the big showdown in the last part. So my voice is going out a little bit, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to the last part. I'm hoping we get a lot of stuff. I did not like the cut in between the Reanimator stuff and Resonator stuff. I wish they would have just focused on the Resonator stuff in this one, and then Reanimator stuff in the next one, because it's called Curse of the Reanimator over the Resonator stuff. But apparently we're gonna have, I don't know, maybe that one's called Curse of the Reanimator, and we're gonna have more Resonator stuff than Reanimator stuff. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So what are your thoughts on Beyond the Resonator? No comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, this was a middle of the road, obviously. I should say. I don't know if I should be getting these scores, but the first one was pretty good. This one is middle of the road. We'll see how the next one is. But thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.